Back with more Buffy. This is episode 11 of season 5, and I'm very excited to carry on and see what's going to happen next with the show. Because with this, we're going to be halfway through the season, which is kind of crazy. And I'm very intrigued as to where we're going to pick things up, given the last episode with Riley leaving. Is it permanent? Is it not? No idea. But I'm excited to see what the aftermath of this is going to be and where the story goes next. You know, I imagine Glory's going to step up her game even further. There's going to be a lot going on with that. There's that Ben guy has a connection to her, so I don't know what they're going to be doing with that kind of little plot twist. Not really sure exactly where they're going to go with this season yet, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, very, very excited to finally get back into the show. It's been a couple of weeks. You know, I had a whole lot of Angel to get through recently, so back to Buffy now. Very excited. Let's get into it.
And there's a whole bunch of colored wires, and I'm not sure which is the right one to cut, but I guess the green one, and then at the last second, no, the red one, and then click, it stops with 0.3 of a second left, but then you don't leave. Like that, okay?
Check.
I feel like she's been watching a lot of movies with him.
I wonder how she's dealing with it.
Brilliantly, I imagine. Has she become a nun?
Do you have to be, like, super religious? Well, how's the food?
Well, that would be a twist. Buffy the Vampire Slayer nun.
It's just I trust these watchers about as far as you could throw them.
Thank you very much.
I'm just freaked about the idea of giving them any information that could possibly lead them to Dawn.
Me too.
True, Buffy.
Snakes.
You're going away for a week? That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I get to run the store, right?
I'm envious, Mr. Giles. A trip to England sounds so exciting and exotic. Unless you're English.
Don't worry about the shop. Usually I use that time to copy over my class notes with a system of different colored pens. But it's been pointed out to me that that's, you know, insane.
I said quirky.
Hello, I work here. Xander, she's talking to Giles like I'm not here. Make her stop.
Perhaps I better...
Oh dear. I suppose Xander's like the only guy in the group again now. Especially if Giles is going away.
What you doing? Playing soccer.
Yeah.
Can I hang out in here? It wasn't really so fast. Him leaving. According to everyone who isn't me, it was kind of gradual.
Yeah.
All the little ways I imagine how I could have fixed things.
That helicopter wasn't so bloody loud.
There's something I've got to tell you.
Oh
About
boy.
showing you Riley in that place. Not me. I was trying to help, you know. I
Wow.
made him be there after all. Actually trying to help you.
He actually bought her chocolates.
Best intentions. Me getting nothing but your hatred and your venom and your ungrateful bits!
Well, I'm glad that was a practice, because fuck me. And the chocolate's okay? I mean, it would probably be different if it was actually her. Like when he was going to kill her, but then she looked sad, so he comforted her instead.
It's a book. This cat does all this mischief.
It's so cute. He balances a bunch of stuff, including that fish in the bowl. But don't try it for real when you're 6, because then you're not allowed to have fish for 5 years. Missing literature. Giles would be totally fine with this. Come on, it'll be fun.
If he'd be totally fine with it, you'd do it while he was there.
You could be. Don't float the merchandise.
I like that she's being quite responsible.
Stop that.
Hey, look at this. My 2 favorite girls. 3 favorite girls.
Oh.
Willow's stealing.
You really shouldn't pull him into this.
Yes, see? Tears with me.
Xander, she's pretending to be me. Well, can you even believe how she's acting?
Oh my
you know
god.
what?
Guys.
I'm trying to be the one in the middle. I'm not gonna let you pull me into this.
You guys have some stuff you need to work out. You know, just really talk.
Yes. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of leaning towards being on Anya's side in that. What's gonna go wrong?
Come on, let it out.
Oh no. Oh no.
He's not a ball of sunshine.
No.
New semester.
Oh,
And no thank you.
I like that these two like hanging out.
It was only a little thing, really.
Little thing? See, the thing is, little things get bigger, no, and if you don't catch the little thing, and then boom, you have this whole huge thing.
Put the top up. The peaches are all blowy.
Well, I don't know how to put the top up. I only just figured out what the left pedal does. It makes it stop.
You don't know how to drive? Why didn't you say you
Oh no.
I couldn't know if I could.
find that sweat quickly? Oh, that's gone.
Oh dear. They just need to go and get a hot chocolate or something.
Hey, those are mine.
My. Someone's in a temper.
I like who they're pairing up in this episode.
Buffy, something's been here and Willow's gone.
Don't worry. We'll get her back. I promise. Come on. This thing's probably leaving a huge trail.
Oh, Anya's gone too. Let's be concerned for both.
Ale! I smell delicious ale.
Neat.
So I'll say something about Anya, and then we'll get this look. This, what the hell do you see in her?
I know that look. A lot of people never really got through.
She was insane. That's like, well,
Yeah.
I get all torn.
What does a person have to do to make it right? Hey, watch it, mate.
Oh dear.
Second thought, do what you like.
Do you know where there are babies?
What do you think, the hospital?
What? Shut up.
Oh my god.
I wish Buffy was here.
I'm here.
Hooray!
I wish I had $1 million.
Yeah.
What's going on? Where did he come from?
Hello, Buffy.
Willow stole it.
Not now.
And released.
Told the witch to do that on Yanka. You seem determined to put an end to all my fun, just like you always did when we were
You know
dating.
something? Oh.
You know, he cheated on me and I made him into a troll, which, by the way, is how I got the job as a vengeance.
Oh, wow.
It did not work.
Okay, wait. Let the
Oh. Well, you tried. Whoa! Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. The only trolls worse than this are in the comment section.
But not a taste of spite, not a lick. I knew you would like it.
You want credit for not feeding off bleeding disaster victims?
Yeah.
You're disgusting.
Disgusting.
What's it take?
I would never hurt Xander. You really think I would do that?
Anya, it's what you do. You spent, what, 1,000 years hurting men?
Maybe Xander should be afraid of you.
Xander's my best friend.
Oh, and you don't want anyone else to have him.
Oh boy.
What got him and Cordelia, you know? It was you. And your lips.
No, it was not.
Let's
Yes,
forget
it
about
was so,
that.
But that was a long time ago. Do you think I'd do that again?
Why not?
Well, hello, gay now.
But you're always doing everything you can to point out how much I'm an outsider.
I am not going to take him away, and I am not going to hurt him.
Well, I'm not either.
Good. Then be best friends. Oh boy. Unhand them.
You are not touching these women.
Yes. Oh no. Stop. Hammer time.
You fight well, although you are a tiny man.
With a big heart.
Only one of your women shall die.
Oh, I knew this was going to happen.
Choose.
I'm not choosing between my girlfriend and my best friend. That's insane troll logic.
Go, Xander. I love you.
Good for you. You are a loyal man.
Xander!
Il spectro bien monstrum. Damn.
Will it please?
I distracted him from Buffy. Piss him off.
I don't know how.
Anya, I have faith in you. There is no one you cannot piss off.
Your power's in your hammer?
Oh!
Oh, yeah. Everybody still has all that troll strength.
You shall all die. They will never last. Anyanka is very difficult to live with.
Oh no.
He
She's in a bad place. woman scorned and all that.
Don't you like me better?
Yes. Willow likes you too, but not in a sexy way. You know, because she's gay. And she's not going to try to break us up, so you know it's all okay. Her love.
Thank God.
Forever.
Trying to send them to a specific place is sort of like trying to hit a puppy by throwing a live bee at it, which is a weird image, and you should all just forget it.
Thank you.
It's possible that. And I got this nifty souvenir.
Oh no.
The place is trashed enough anyway.
Poor Giles.
But see how well things worked out? I'm just so happy for you.
Oh my God.
Well, maybe we would have had time to clean it up. You know, if Willow used some magics to help.
Yes, because nothing could possibly go wrong with that.
Rupert, I still don't understand. They don't know that it's Dawn.
Oh no.
Giles, what happens if they figure it out? What would they do?
I don't know.
Oh no.
Oh, I can't even think about this. It's too... I'll get some more milk.
Well, that's gonna go well. Okay, I think that was a pretty decent episode overall. Wouldn't say it was one of my absolute favourites. There's still a lot to enjoy in it. Where do we begin? Well, I liked the initial kind of scenes with Joyce. I like that she seems to be feeling better and that she's still very much in the know about Dawn now. And that ending, that's going to be very interesting to see Dawn's reaction to that. Is she going to keep that to herself, that she's kind of learnt the truth? Or is she going to confront Buffy and all that about it? Could be interesting that she finds out the truth about herself. I imagine that would be quite tough to hear and actually learn that. So that's very exciting with that ending. I think that was the big takeaway of this episode, really. What's going to happen next with that? Very excited to see where they go with that. And yeah, just seeing like the family unit continue, I really, really enjoyed. Even that scene with Dawn like wanting to hang out with Buffy a bit in her room and like talking about Riley and stuff like that. I enjoyed how they dealt with his departure. They still had like a new story going on and there was still, you know, some plot happening. But at the same time they did deal with the Riley thing and his departure. And it was interesting seeing that kind of side to Buffy as well. So I don't think we quite got that reaction from Buffy when everything with Angel kind of fell apart. At least not, you know, the latest time it fell apart. Maybe the first few times, yes. But she got quite weepy and all that in the wake of Riley leaving in this sense, and seeing like other couples potentially be in danger and stuff seemed to set her off in a very interesting way. I don't think we've quite seen Buffy in that kind of emotional state before. Obviously she's been like devastated and stuff with things that have happened in relationships, but I don't know, there was kind of almost a timidness to this, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. That was actually really kind of sad and almost endearing to see just how kind of fragile this has made her. But at the same time, she's still fully capable of kicking a troll's ass, which I think is pretty badass. So I like that. It's not like she was completely broken by Riley leaving. So that was cool and interesting. And her kind of reflecting on the relationship as well and saying, you know, maybe I should have noticed more, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of cool that she's not just like moving on, like, oh, you know, maybe he is where he's meant to be, blah, 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 it all worked out well. She's actually almost holding herself accountable for it. Not that she was entirely to blame, but she's kind of thinking, could I have done more? And I liked that kind of examination of her relationship with Riley there. So I think they dealt with his departure in a pretty neat way, without it like dominating a whole episode, kind of like it did in the last one, because obviously that was his departure. And then the whole idea of the troll, I liked how it was kind of like one of Annie's exes and the reason she became a vengeance demon. It was kind of nice getting some of that backstory. But as far as like a villain goes, you know, he was far from the more interesting ones we've had, honestly. But kind of an interesting threat, but more so, I think he was there as another kind of tool to examine Xander's relationships with Willow and Anya, you know, the two people he's kind of closest to. that was what this episode was really about. And I do kind of wish we'd gotten a scene near the end with like Willow and Anya kind of really, you know, coming to an understanding and like apologising. Because we all know Willow is my cinnamon roll. I love her to pieces, and she's my absolute favourite, probably always will be. But I do think she was kind of in the wrong with doing the spell. Especially, like, fine, do the spell if you want to try it, but in the magic box as well, I could kind of understand. I mean, I'm kind of a stickler for the rules and stuff, really. Like, I'd get pissed off at people in school not following the rules and everything like that. I was one of those kids. Luckily, I wasn't bullied too badly. But, yeah. I can kind of understand why Anya wanted to follow Giles' rules, you know, and it was interesting that Giles didn't really trust Anya to do it and handled it all on her own, but probably she was the most responsible one when he did leave. I think that's showing how much growth Anya has gone, and how much more human she is becoming and learning to be, and how well she is kind of developing in that sense. But it almost seems like everyone else is kind of ignorant to that and not giving her the credit she's deserving for how much progress she's made. But I feel like that's going to change now. Because I did kind of understand, you know, I think Willow did do the spell in the magic box because Anya was there, and she wanted to keep an eye on Anya because she's always afraid that she's going to hurt Xander. So it does come from like a nice place, and they both meant well, even if that rubbed each other the wrong way. But I think they've kind of come to a bit of an understanding now, and I like the comedic elements of the episode with that plot, and just like little lines as well. They had quite a lot of comical moments with like the scene with Xander and Spike, for example, and when they were talking to the troll guy, I think his name was Olaf or something, about like the food he could eat, and Spike went back to like this onion flour thing. That was kind of funny, just that throwaway line like that. Very interesting kind of pairing up of characters in this episode that I really, really liked. Xander and Spike was cool. Obviously Willow and Anya. It was nice they finally kind of addressed that tension that is going on with those two. So obviously like both of them are kind of competing for Xander in their own little way. And I like that we had an episode kind of addressing that and hopefully dealing with it. I'm hoping they'll start to get along a lot better in this episode. Following this episode even. But I also really, really loved the pairing of Buffy and Tara. I really liked Tara in this episode when she was kind of telling them, you know, you can't drag Xander into your fight. I really liked that. She kind of removed herself from that situation to let them deal with it in a similar way that Xander kind of left as well. I completely understood their points of view, and I think they were right to do that, because they shouldn't be getting involved in that drama. Because there's a lot of needless blaming of each other going on there. It did seem kind of odd for Willow to be... I know she's very... When it comes to magic, I think she is very irresponsible, and kind of blind to that irresponsibility. So it does kind of make sense that she acted the way she did in terms of like the spells in this episode. If I think it was anything else, she would have probably admitted her wrongdoing. But because it was about magic, I think she kind of loses herself in the magic a lot. We've kind of seen a lot of her spells go wrong. And even then, she's like, no, I can just fix it, it's fine. And sometimes, obviously, that makes it even worse because she summons a bloody troll. So that's kind of an interesting flaw, I think, to Willow's character in terms of that. Because I do think, for the most part, I would say she might have been in the wrong in this situation. As much as that kills me to say, because I love her, and we know that. But it was interesting to kind of see how responsible Anya was in trying to respect Giles's rules. But yeah, seeing people not really give her that credit, I think was interesting. But I think that's going to change going forward, which I really, really like. But yeah, going back to Buffy and Tara, I loved their scenes together in like taking a class together. They seem to be getting along really, really well, which I think is very wholesome. And then that was kind of used as well to show that Buffy is still very fragile about any relationship potentially breaking down, because that's kind of reminding her of, you know, everything with Riley. A very interesting side to Buffy that they explored with this one. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, just seeing those two kind of interact, I really, really liked that a lot. I hope we see a lot more of like Tara interacting like one-on-one with all the different Scoobies. I think that could be really cool. So yeah, that was great. And then Spike like practicing with that like Buffy doll or whatever it was, trying to apologise and make amends, and then just going completely wrong. He's definitely not handling this in the right way, his feelings, you know? is, but I think that's just kind of how he is. He wants to have those feelings, but at the same time, I don't think he wants to be completely open about them. I also think he doesn't really understand how to go about this. Because, you know, when it's like with someone like Drew, they kind of understand each other because they're both kind of a bit and a bit crazy. But when he has feelings for someone like Buffy, he really clearly doesn't know how to handle this kind of relationship and those kind of feelings for a very different kind of person, I think, that he's fallen for in this case. So I think he's still trying to work out how to deal with it and how to try and woo Buffy. And he's definitely not doing a very good job, that's for sure. So they're continuing with that story. I'm interested in seeing what the end game for that story is going to be. Because it has kind of been this similar kind of thing for quite a few episodes now. So I wonder if they're going to address that and have, you know, act on that anytime soon. Or if that's just going to be like a running thing for like the rest of the show or whatever. So yeah, that was all interesting with Spike. And then yeah, just seeing how much Xander and Anya care about each other. I really liked Xander in this episode, you know, refusing to choose between them when he was like, the troll was like, oh, I'll kill one of them. And he just continued fighting as well, like, fucking brave. I like that he kind of just stood his ground on that, and he was never going to choose between the two people that matter most to him. I also, tell you a little bit, I loved when he walked in and was like, oh, my 2 favourite girls. He saw Tara's there. Oh, my 3 favourite girls. That was really wholesome. I really liked that. I am really enjoying seeing how, you know, integral to the team Tara is becoming, and she's really has found her place in the group. I love that so much. The other thing that was cool. The little scene between Xander and Anya at the start, really, really nice. I really like their relationship a lot, so hopefully Buffy's right and it does last. But also it's a Whedon show, so we'll see. So yeah, what they did in like examining Xander's relationships with like the 2 girls he's closest to, I thought they did a pretty good job with that. I just would have liked maybe that last little scene we could have gotten with them like really making amends and coming to that understanding and apologising and stuff. We didn't really get, you know, them properly being held accountable for their bickering causing a troll to be released. And I think we kind of needed that. But again, I think Willow doesn't really hold herself accountable when it comes to magic. Which she needs to work on, clearly. But that's fine. I love her anyway. So yeah, that was all interesting. And yeah, that ending with Dawn finding out or overhearing the truth about her. Very excited to see where that goes. And Giles going to England to the Watchers Council for information about Glory. I don't know if that's going to lead anywhere. I imagine it will, otherwise why do it? Unless they just wanted an excuse for Giles to not be around so they could do the whole thing with the troll. Maybe that's all it was, and it is going to prove nothing. But, you know, we don't often get a mention of the Watchers Council anymore, obviously. So that was very interesting. I'm intrigued as to where they could potentially go with bringing the Watchers Council into it. But yeah, overall, solid episode. I wouldn't say it was one of my favourites. I do think it's probably one of the weaker ones this season. But I like how they examined Xander's relationships with Willow and Anya, and how they dealt with the aftermath of Riley leaving, Dawn finding out the truth as well at the end. It proves to be quite an interesting story going forward. So yeah, not like the greatest episode of all time, but I still quite enjoyed it. There's a lot to like about it. So yeah, pretty good episode overall. Very excited to continue on as we enter the second half of the season. Crazy we're halfway through. But yeah, very, very excited to see where we go from here. I imagine things are really going to step up with Glory now we're getting to the second half. And yeah, my next reaction will be episode 12 of Buffy. So yeah, we're going to be continuing straight on. Very, very excited. And until my next reaction, thanks for watching.